Unit 1, Lesson 10. Okay, so go ahead, page 27 in the workbook. Go ahead, work on that. Pause the video. Okay, so in skills maintenance today, activity 1 was a matter of lining up the problem to add or subtract and check your work by rounding. Okay, so again, when we add or subtract decimals, we want to line up the decimal. So number 1, we got 22.7 plus 88.95. Okay, and I'm going to put a 0 in there as a placeholder. Okay, so 0 plus 5 is 5, 9 plus 7 is 16, carry the 1, 11, carry the 1, 11 again, so 111.65. Okay, so and then checking again, we're looking at the whole number. So 22.7, I would round to 23, plus 88.95, I would round to 89. So 23 plus 89 is 112. Okay, 111.65 is pretty close there. So I believe we got this answer correct. Okay, number 2 then. We got 37.09 minus 25.79. Again, lining up those decimals. Okay, subtracting, we get 0. Need to borrow. 10 minus 7, we get 3. There's our decimal. 6 minus 5, 1. 3 minus 2, 1. So 11.30. Okay, so estimating, okay, by rounding. Okay, 37.09. We say it's 37 minus 25.79. I'm going to say is 26 when I round, which is 11, which our answer is close to that, so I believe we did it proper. Okay, so number 3 then. Let's see here. 3. We got 188.75 plus 122.9. Again, making sure we line up the decimal. I'm putting this 0 in there to hold a place. Okay, so we line up our place values properly. So adding 5, 16, carry the 1, 11, 311.65. Okay, so then rounding again to check. I'm going to round that to 189 plus 123, 312, and we're at 311.65, so we should be good. And then finally, number 4. $107.12 minus 98.9. Okay, again, making sure we line up our decimal and our place values, and we're subtracting here. So 2, got to borrow. 2, there's our decimal. Borrowing from there. So we get 8.22. So rounding again, 107 minus 99, which is 8, which is pretty close to our answer. Okay, so now determining if something has a relationship. So what we're going to look for is that we don't have 2 dots that line up like this. In those cases, there is no relationship. Okay, remember, on a scatter plot like this, there's 2 different variables. Okay, horizontal or x, vertical or y. 2 things can't happen with one. Okay, so example was years of experience last time, and then income. Okay, if you have 1 year of experience, you can't have those 2 different salaries. Okay, so there's no relationship there. There is here, because none of them line up vertically. There is a relationship here as well. And then finally here, no, because we got all these different ones that line up like that. Okay, so there is our skills maintenance for today. Objective, okay, we're going to order and compare decimal numbers. Okay, getting them in numerical order. Okay, so practice runs and best times. So it looks like we got a little sprinter here. what we're going to do is make sure that it is in order. Okay, so when we look at this, 24.5 on Monday, 24.2, 23.83 on Wednesday, 23.81 on Thursday, and 23.02. Okay, these numbers are in descending order. Okay, the way we can tell, okay, is by looking at the whole number first, 24, 24. Okay, so at that point, then the other three are 23. So those are smaller than 24s for sure. Once to determine if the 24.5 and 24.2 is larger or bigger, then we're going to look at the tens place. Okay, 5 is larger than 2, so 24.5 is larger than that 24.2. Okay, so then looking at the 23s, looking at the tens place there again, okay, we notice that the Wednesday and Thursday time have 0.8. Okay, so since those are the same, then we need to go and look at the hundreds place. 3 is larger than 1, so 23.83 is larger than 23.81. And then since 23.0 is smaller than that 23.8, that is the fastest time of the 5. Okay. So compared to Gail's fastest time the week before, how much faster did Gail run? Okay, so we're looking at that 23.92. So on Wednesday, 23.92, and we're going to subtract that time of Wednesday, and we get 0.09. Okay, so she ran 0.09 seconds faster than the previous week. Okay, and then looking at Thursday, we're going to subtract the 23.81, which she gets 0.11 seconds faster. And then finally on Friday, we would take that 23.92 and minus that 23.02 to get a 0.9 seconds faster. Now, there is a proper way to say these. Okay, like if you listen to the Olympics, okay, Summer Olympics, okay, track and field. Okay, a lot of times you hear them say 9/100ths of a second. Okay, that is 0.09 seconds when they say that. Okay, so she ran 9/100ths of a second faster on that Wednesday compared to her previous week. Now, if we go to Thursday, okay, 11/100ths, 0.11, again, 11/100ths of a second faster. That is what they mean. It's 0.11 seconds faster. And then the same thing for Friday, but that one was 0.9, or we can say 0.90 or 90/100ths, or if you get rid of those zeros, 9/10ths of a second faster. Okay. So you will hear that a lot of times come Summer Olympics. Okay, and then if we order them, okay, again, looking at the hundredths place here, 019, that is in numerical order now. So, using a little number line there, okay, ruler, okay, we can tell the difference between the two, okay. It's a little bit different because we're talking about time, so this would be talking about a distance. But let's go ahead and do your apply skills. Pause the video and work through that. All right, now that we're back, let's order from least to greatest. Okay, so we're looking at these 4 numbers. So always work from left to right on the numbers. So I noticed that they all have 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so since that's the case, we need to go to the tens place. 9, 0, 1, 0. So these two are smaller. Okay, but we need to determine of those two which one's smaller. So then we go to the next place value, 9, 7. Okay, 7 is smaller. So if we're ordering from least to greatest, we want to go smallest number to biggest number. So 0.07 was the smallest one, and 0.09 was the next. So we're good with that one, good with that one. Then from there, determine 0.9 or 0.1, which one is smaller. Okay, again, looking at that tens place, 9, 1. 1 is the smaller value, so 0.1, 0.9. So we have ordered those numbers from least to greatest. So again, work with your numbers from left to right. So in the next one, I noticed that all of them are 1 point something. Okay, so we need to look at the tens place again. 2, 0, 5, 0. Okay, so the smallest number is either this one or this one. We don't know yet. We need to go further in our place values to see which one actually is. Okay, so 5, 0. Okay, 0 is smaller, so 1.005, and then 1.05. Then we need to determine the next ones. Oop. So 2, 5, 2 is smaller, so 1.2, and 1.5 is the largest of those four numbers. Okay, for number 3, they're all 2 point something. Okay, 2.05, 2.07. Those have the smaller digit in the tens place. So then moving to the hundreds place, 5 is smaller than 7. So 2.05 is the smallest. 2.07 is the next smallest. Okay, and then again, when we look at these ones, 2.7, 2.75, okay, they both have 7 in the hundreds or in the tens place, but the hundreds place is kind of the tricky part because 2.7 doesn't have a hundreds place. But remember, we can add a hundreds place of 0. So and then looking at 0 is smaller than 5, so 2.7 is smaller than 2.75. Okay, so and then finally the last one, 0.3, 0.08. Okay, looking at the tenths place, I get a 0 and a 0 there. So one of those is the smallest one. So looking at the tenths or hundreds place, 8, 0. The 0 is smaller, so 0.03 and 0.08. Then looking at the tenths place of the remaining two, 0.3 or 0.8. 0.3 is smaller, and then 0.83 to follow. Okay, so ordering them from least to greatest, always work from left to right in your numbers. Okay, just moving each place value till you find the smaller number. Okay, so activity 2 now, match each decimal number with its approximate location on the number line. Okay, now there's a couple in there that I know for sure. Okay, 0.25. Okay, that's splitting up into quarters. Okay, just think. There's my quarters. So this one is 0.25. This one would be 0.75. So we got those two taken care of. Now I also noticed 0.52. That is really close to 0.5. And the one that's closest to 0.5 is at 0.52. So we're good there. And then 0.620. Okay, so I'm going to compare this with that 0.5. That 0.620 is larger just because of the tens place. 6 is larger than 2, or 5, sorry. So I need to be right of that 0.5. So 0.620. Now 0.0, okay, that's smaller than that 0.25. Okay, so that's got to be that last one. Okay. So that's us putting our decimal numbers in the approximate location on a number line. Okay, compare them to the ones that you know for sure. I know 0.5 is right in the middle between 0 and 1. Okay, so that is Unit 1, Lesson 10. Okay, depending on the teacher that you have, you will either have the quiz today or tomorrow. So make sure you are asking questions if you have any questions before the quiz. You should have a homework assignment as well. Lesson 10 in the work or in your homework page. Other than that, have a good day.